All right, so another video today, and this one I want to do something a little different than before. So I'd like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and how to create your own homebrew campaign. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do this. This is obviously just one of the ways, and a way that I found to kind of fit with what I want to be doing is a dungeon master. So part of it is creating a world that you're proud of, and then there's another part of it which is facilitating a game for your players. So for me, I enjoy being the person or being able to kind of create this space for people to enjoy themselves and to have fun and a good time and laugh, as well as enjoy their experience. So the first thing for me is to have a setting in mind or a theme kind of for the campaign. So a lot of the modules that you can buy have a bunch of different, or not a bunch of different, a lot of the modules have kind of a different structure or a different theme that they follow through the entire course. So for example, Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is one of the first ones that they released for 5th edition, you follow kind of this journey of tracking down this giant treasure hoard that this group this group is trying to take from that the group is trying to take to give and bring about Tiamat, or the Dragon Queen. So the first thing that you need to do is kind of have this idea of what you want. So for me, I did a survey between my players in terms of what they were most interested in to what they were least interested in. So I think I had 5 different campaign settings, and some of them had to do with, previous things that we had done. Like, we ran Horde of the Dragon Queen, so one of the options was like continuing to run Horde of the Dragon Queen, but wherever we were at. Another option that I had was a pirate-themed campaign for the material plane as well as the astral plane. Another one was a kind of Gotham-style, like suspense, thriller kind of campaign. And I had a couple other ones, but you kind of get the idea of having these different ideas or different kind of settings that you can kind of have that consistent theme through your entire story. So for me, all of these campaigns, and you would be able to, if you have kind of your own homebrew world and your own kind of idea of like a giant world that you want to play in and whatnot, you can add, sections within each of the world itself that can cater to each one of those campaign settings. So kind of the 2 that I mentioned, the pirate nautical themed one, as well as kind of the mystery detective themed one, are both campaigns that I'm running within my own homebrew world, but we basically selected from the group of friends, whoever wanted to play the pirates more got to play the pirates more. Whoever wanted the other one got to play the other one. So that's the first thing, is kind of having a theme to kind of base your campaign around. One thing that can help is taking things that inspire you or that are really interesting to you. An example of this is, for myself, I really love the Hunter x Hunter anime. And for those of you who are familiar with that, I kind of remodeled the Hunter x Hunter campaign, the Hunter x Hunter anime into a campaign to kind of give a break from the normal campaign that we were running. So I took the whole challenge aspect of like becoming a hunter and turned that entire thing into a campaign that I think we had it go for around 5 or 6 months. And that was really fun. So yeah, take things that inspire you, and then you can kind of, mold them from the D&D rules into something that is somewhat comparable to Hunter x Hunter, or to whatever you are interested in. I have a friend who's dungeon master, really liked the Monster Hunter games, and so he created a D&D setting around the Monster Hunter campaigns, or being these monster hunters and getting, better gear through killing these big creatures and whatnot. So once you kind of have this overall arching idea, what I did was, since I do milestone XP, for me, I want everyone to be at the same level. And, sometimes we have people that miss a session and whatnot, and that's okay. I don't want to be punishing people for missing, especially because this is a game where we're just getting together as friends. So I kind of decided how long I wanted the campaign to be. And then what I did was I kind of broke up. Well, I started with, wherever they're starting and whatever level that they're starting at. And then I kind of had this end goal. So in my mind, I was thinking, what is kind of the big climactic event that can happen for each of the campaigns? And then once that is written out, I broke down how they would get from where they are to where I want them to be, to have kind of this final battle and whatnot. And then kind of once you have these in-between areas, then for me it was breaking up, each section into a certain aspect of the campaign. So a quick example from my current nautical themed campaign, I have kind of this big bad creature that I want them to fight at the end. To get to that big bad creature, they need to go into the astral plane. And to me, kind of the astral plane would be the kind of halfway mark in terms of where they would be level-wise. So then I have my halfway point, and then I can break that up into other things. So before the halfway point, I know that they need 8 levels. And then for each of those levels, I am kind of having a event or something big that needs to happen for them to be kind of reaching each of those levels. And then same with the back end is, I know, okay, they're level 8 or 9, and then how can I get them from 9 to 16? And then what are the different areas or what are different kind of things that can be done, or big events that can be done to get them from that level to where they have more experience to get to this big bad creature at the end. So that is kind of the second thing that I had. And then the last thing, which is kind of like the icing on top and whatnot, is adding things from characters' backstories into the milestone kind of events, so that the players have these things from their past or from the backstory that they've written that can then feel like they're intertwined and kind of a part of this world. So the examples on my other campaign, I have a character who had her family murdered by, a cult of some sort. And so then that cult, I will be able to kind of bring in to the story to make that character feel, more invested in the campaign itself. And I tried to go through my characters' backstories and pick out, or my player characters' backstories, and pick out the kind of big things that could intertwine into the campaign itself. So to help get my characters to write backstories, I kind of promised them a magical item if they were able to complete that. And so for me, these magical items are more flavor than anything else. They aren't really game breaking. One of them was like a cloak that they can change colors on. Another one was like a bathtub that could turn into a ring. There was kind of like a portable blacksmithing kit. Things like that, like things that won't break the game but will allow my characters to feel like they're getting something out of writing a backstory. Kind of that last thing, like with characters' backstories and stuff, it isn't really a necessity, but for me, it feels fun to be able to kind of incorporate that. And I know a lot of the good DMs and storytellers are able to do that, take things from characters' backstories and weave them into their campaign. So because other people were doing it, then I tried it, and that's something that I really enjoyed. So I know these are kind of like big broad strokes in terms of creating a campaign, but it's not as difficult as you might think it is. So if you had ever wanted to start a D&D campaign, you should definitely try. If you're still feeling like overwhelmed and whatnot, a really good way to start is by using kind of these modules, either from Wizards of the Coast, or there's plenty of other people that make kind of their own modules and books and stuff for 5th edition. And you can start there by running those modules. And with the modules, you don't need to be keeping everything the same. So, if there's a bad guy in the module, but you think it would be cooler to have a different bad guy, you can swap those out or add in character backstory stuff into the modules itself, which might be a little more difficult because the modules are already pre-written and you can't be like writing things to massage it into your world. But you do have the ability to do that. Or if you just want to take inspiration from the modules and then turn it into your own module, in your own campaign. That's also a very valid way to be doing things. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do this, but in my opinion, the main goal of Dungeons and Dragons or telling stories is just to be having fun, and that's kind of my only goal for this, is to make D&D fun for my players and for myself to have to do this. So I hope that was somewhat helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions or ways or things that you're thinking about that you need trouble or help with, feel free to put them in the comments, and I'll be happy to help you figure out that thing, or to give you some ideas or some points of inspiration where you can jump off from. But yeah, anyways, that is going to be a video for today. So I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow.